VR is taking the world by storm. It's a concept that many people 20 years ago would find bizarre. VRs are now almost as common as video game systems and telephones, considering some of them are around the same price. One of the biggest names is the Meta Quest, which is now coming out with its third installment. Want to know what to expect from the Meta Quest 3? Then just keep on watching. First, let's take a look at the history of VR. While virtual reality has been around for a while, it has not been anywhere near the state it currently is. It may be hard to believe, but the first discussions on VR happened almost 100 years ago in a short story. The first instance of it was in 1956 when a cinematographer created a booth called Sensorama, which combined all of the senses to immerse viewers in the film they were watching. In 1985, two men founded a company they would name VPL Research Incorporated, which is responsible for being the first company to have sold VR equipment. VR got close to the state it's in now back in 2012 when 20-year-old Palmer Luckey launched a Kickstarter for a product, Oculus Rift. It would of course go on to get the money it needed and would be big enough for Facebook to buy it in 2014 for $2 billion. That same year, Sony, Google, and Samsung offered to put their hands on the world of VR. It was in 2009 that Facebook released its own VR headset, the Oculus Quest. Let's take a look at the previous Oculus Quests.
The newer Quest 2 is around $100 cheaper than the Quest 1. So if you don't have the Quest 1 already, then the Quest 2, it's a no-brainer.
As the name would lead you to believe, the Meta Quest 3 is the third version of the Oculus Quest. The first one came out in 2019, with the second coming out just 1 year later. With the first and second Oculus Quest, there are many differences. Differences like an up in quality. The first Oculus has a resolution of 1440 by 1600, while the second has a resolution of 1832 by 1920. The other difference is one that many fans and users were upset about. If you want to set up your Oculus Quest 2, then you must link it to your Facebook account, as opposed to the original Oculus, where you could simply use an Oculus account. There were also many slight upgrades from the first to the second Oculus. Little things like the memory, which starts at 64 gigabytes for the Quest 1 and 128 for the second. The battery life also differs slightly. The Oculus 1 can only be played for 2 hours before needing to be charged again. The Oculus 2, on the other hand, can hold out for an extra half an hour. The RAM for these two devices are different as well, with the Oculus 2 having 4 gigabytes and the Oculus 1 having 6. Now, let's take a look at what to expect from the Meta Quest 3. The Meta Quest Pro was first announced back in September, and just 1 month later, an excess of information regarding the Meta Quest 3 has been coming out.
A Quest 3 is almost an inevitability at this point, with how well the Quest 2 is doing.
It is not the first time we've learned that the Meta Quest 3 has been spoken into existence. In fact, we've been hearing things for a while.
But we do know the Quest 3 will feature those pancake lenses that will severely slim down the device. There's now full color pass-through, a new depth sensor, a charging port that appears to be compatible with the Quest Pro charger,
including confirmation that it actually exists. We don't know as much about the Quest 3 as we will when it's officially announced, but we do know a tad bit about it. For instance, we do know how much it will cost, or an estimate at least. According to Mark Zuckerberg, the Quest 3 will cost somewhere between $300 and $500. Zuckerberg also let us know that, while there will for sure be a Quest 3, it is not possible that it will come out this year. The headset was discussed in the third quarter earnings report for Meta, being one of the few times that the headset was officially discussed by Zuckerberg or any other credible sources. Of course, the specs for the Meta Quest 3 have also been supposedly leaked by a VR YouTuber who claimed it will feature an XR2 Gen processor. Moving on, let's talk about the legs demo. While VR is incredibly advanced, with current technology, there is only so much that people can do. It's very difficult for legs to be picked up in VR, as accurately tracking them is extremely difficult to do. Within the metaverse, though, it seems like this problem has found a solution. At a MetaConnect event, Mark Zuckerberg spoke on the possibility of VR characters having legs as their players do. He confirmed that there are going to be legs coming to the metaverse 100%. Taking it a step higher, Zuckerberg put his money where his mouth was and went from discussing legs in the metaverse to demonstrating them for the audience. In front of the screen, Zuckerberg kicked and jumped to show off his full-body avatar. He also spoke a little on the subject and why it had taken so long to get the legs, discussing how difficult they are to put into the VR. He then went on to confirm once again that there would be legs coming soon. Of course, soon is a very vague statement, so there isn't really any telling when they will be coming, but hopefully soon means before 2024. Let's now discuss the Meta layoffs. In the month of November, two major social media companies recently made headlines when the news came out that they had fired a lot of their employees. The first was Twitter. Elon Musk took over Twitter and began firing hundreds of employees who had worked there for years.
The newly resigned will join at least 3,000 other former employees going into the holidays jobless after layoffs. Meanwhile, Musk, well, he posted a funeral meme reveling in Twitter's demise.
Meta did the same thing, just without new leadership. Mark Zuckerberg laid off hundreds of his Meta employees, but he wants people to know that the firing was not as cold as the Twitter firings, saying that he handled the layoffs better than Elon Musk did.
Meta is planning to begin large-scale layoffs this week that will affect thousands of employees. That's according to the Wall Street Journal, which says announcements are planned as early as Wednesday.
Zuckerberg defended himself and his decision to lay off the employees, saying that no matter which way companies plan their layoffs, there is rarely ever an instance where both parties are happy with the decisions made. In a video, the Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg addressed the situation, saying that he takes full responsibility for the situation and that the health and direction of the company are up to him. He continued on to say that since he first started the company that was originally Facebook 18 years ago, the decision to lay off the employees was among one of the hardest that he's had to make. We're going to discuss Zuckerberg's WhatsApp business ideas. Facebook may be the company that Mark Zuckerberg first brought to life 18 years ago, but in 2014, he adopted the company WhatsApp for $19 billion. WhatsApp did not jump in popularity as many fans expected it to, but Zuckerberg is saying that there is still much more to be expected from WhatsApp. Zuckerberg discussed what his new plans for WhatsApp were. He discussed wanting to make the app easier for people to get things done properly on WhatsApp, which he says will include better ways to engage with businesses. He discussed how great the app may be for chatting, especially with people in Brazil. It's not easy to find new businesses, nor is it to buy from them. To avoid people having to work around the business aspect things, they have come out with WhatsApp Business. According to Zuckerberg, the overall ultimate goal for WhatsApp is to heighten the possibilities of messaging, locating, and purchasing things from different businesses all over the world at different times, simply using WhatsApp Chat. With Zuckerberg's help, WhatsApp users in Brazil will be able to look for enterprises, ask questions about products, and even add items to a cart. Finally, let's talk about the new Meta VR concert. Concerts in the metaverse are not rare. On the 10th and 13th of November, the popular metal festival Ozfest was virtually held in the metaverse, with the titular Ozzy Osbourne headlining. While the virtual reality Ozfest did not get great critical reception, with many wishing that Meta would have simply just canned the festival, Meta has not given up on hosting virtual performers within their world. The next artist to perform will be hip-hop legend The Notorious B.I.G. The performance will come with a project called Sky's the Limit, a VR concert experience, and will take place on the 16th of December. Meta will not be alone with the concert, as they're teaming up with the estate of the late rapper Biggie, whose name was Christopher Wallace. He was shot 25 years ago. The late rapper's mother, Willetta Wallace, said in a statement that the ability to create a bunch of new opportunities to showcase her son's music, especially through the wild advancement of technology, can be difficult for her. But journalist Tour said that their enthusiasm made things much easier. The world of VR is moving and growing at an extremely speedy pace. Sometimes it is seemingly moving too fast to keep up. What new improvements do you think the new Meta Quest 3 will bring to the table? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.